Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert carrying the North Carolina flag. The guards are Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Bullock at lead rifle and Cadet Senior Master Sergeant Smith at rear rifle. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, to honor America and celebrate its freedom and those who serve to protect it, please rise if you're able and kindly remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
The battle for high school basketball supremacy begins in the basketball-rich state of North Carolina, with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Championships here at Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum, home of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, and our site for the challenge of climbing the hill and hoisting the trophy. With that, we do welcome you inside Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum alongside my broadcast partner, Kevin Cantwell, Jason Patterson here with you. Coach, first things first, this is going to be the first of many trying to grab a championship this weekend.
This could be a great game. It really is. It's going to be both teams are similar. They got similar rosters, experience, inexperience, similar in height. The difference is the Cardinals have been here. They played in this game last year, and it's going to be the moment. How the moment Southern Wake handles the moment, the beginning of the game.
Yeah, both these teams trying for their first championship all the time, but you mentioned that edge. Let's start with those Cardinals when we keep an eye on our Riddle and Riddle players that are, in essence, our players to watch in this one. These are our players to count on. Who do you highlight for the Cardinals?
Moore, R.J. Moore, he's a junior. The coach told me he's a sophomore. He's already got a scholarship offer from Wake Forest. He's putting up big numbers, a lot of points, but he does it all, and he's a great three-point shooter. Beginning
to get acquainted with this floor, no less, when you think about the potential future for a young man with great basketball pedigree. You flip over on the other side, Coach. Tremendous players, obviously, on all sides. Give us your player to watch for the crew trying to win their first as well.
It's the same thing. He averages 18 points. He does it all. High school games, it's like one or two players, and he's their player. He's their player that goes hard.
Those are our Riddle and Riddle players to count on. We now turn our attention to the keys to the game. These keys to the game, your Eagles food for thought. Eagles, low prices, love the savings. What do you think it comes down to in this one?
Well, the Cardinals have to take care of the ball, all right, turnovers, and defend the half court, because the other team, they really, really play half court offense, all right? And the other team, I would say that they really have to take care of the ball and stay out of foul trouble. And the key guy is their number one player.
Always something exciting about a first-time champion. We're going to have that when it comes to the inaugural game of the 2025 North Carolina High School Association Championships. It's Corvian and Southern Wake coming up on the other side of the break. Approaching the Class 1A Boys State Championship Contest in North Carolina. Welcome you back to our broadcast presented by Riddle and Riddle Injury Lawyers. Home of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, Lawrence Joel Coliseum. One of the great venues in the history of this state. So much history, basketball-wise, a little more set to be made by the combo of Corvian and Southern Wake as the Cardinals and Lions collide for the title. Coach, I got to ask you, starting lineups have been announced. These players now on the floor. What are you getting ready to watch for early in this one?
How do both teams take off? You know, how the moment's going to be big. You know, the moment's the championship game. The good part is they've played in this facility this week. I think it was great for the high schools to let them play in a big-time facility like this. Normally they have to come in for the first time and have to deal with the length of the court. They have to deal with the depth of the shooting. So it's been great for them. So, but the beginning of the game is the key.
Let's take a look at our coaches in this one. Introduce you to those leading the way. You see Coach Quentin Austin now as he is readying his team to take care of business in this one. It certainly is going to be a lifetime moment for whichever of these coaches end up coming out on top when all is said and done, Coach.
Oh, it is. And it is big. It's the first time in the school, what they do. And I'm curious, whenever you talk to coaches, they always say, oh, we're going to do what we do. This is how we got here, all that. Then I look at the films, I go, oh, someone's going to have to make adjustments here. But they don't know because they don't see these teams during the year. So they have no idea.
That was Coach Q on one side. You see Ron Murphy shaking hands as he gets ready to lead this team back into battle. Talk to him about what he learned from a year ago. He said, well, one thing we learned, even though we've been here twice in a row, just how hard it is to arrive in the championship environment.
You know, I've talked to 3 coaches, and they said it's not about the court. They were talking about all the other stuff behind the scenes, getting the tickets, all that. So that's experience, and the coach has that. We had the same thing. First NCAA tournament you ever go to, it's new. After that, it's you learn what to do. So it's a key.
You're listening to Coach Kevin Cadwell. He's become a staple in these North Carolina high school championship games. Guy who made his mark at Georgia Tech and beyond, as well as all across this state. We'll get into some of those stories as the day goes on. I know you got some memories from this building we'll get into as well. But one of the storylines today is the building. You mentioned length of the floor. In what way is that a challenge for these young players?
Well, it's longer. So what happens is offensively, the player comes over half court, right? And then what happens is usually 2 or 3 dribbles, you can start your offense. Well, here you have to go a little further to start your offense. But what happens when they pass the ball to the wing, and if that ball's, say, 6 feet out further than normal, normally it takes someone 3 dribbles to get to the basket. Now it takes them 5 dribbles to get to the basket, and the defense is ready to help out. So you really have to watch that.
We'll also talk depth perception at times in this one. A little different in a building like this than a high school gym. They'll also negotiate what we're doing. Media timeouts, so many different wrinkles.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's basketball. It's the pursuit of a championship, and we are ready for the tip of the 1A Boys Championship game. It will be controlled by the Cardinals of Corvian, first possession, belonging to the group having made the trip over from Charlotte, North Carolina. And we get set to give you a glance at the lineup for Corvian. Here are the starting 5. Our starting lineup brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson. Injured in a car wreck. Call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. Well, we got a heavy hitter already in the scorebook. Malachi McCutcheon drives the baseline, and the senior has the first basket of the state championship.
Yeah. And he's their second best player.
Let's take a look at the lineup on the first trip down the floor for Southern Wake. Again, all our lineups brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson. We told you about them a moment ago. Quick hole after the bucket for McCutcheon. Again, one of several seniors in the Corvian lineup. You see this group that will be leading Southern Wake to the charge, senior Layton as well. In fact, 4 of those names on your screen are seniors as you get a glance at the starting unit. This is a little floater. It'll go. How about that? Nothing to settle you in like fruitful first possessions. Both teams have it.
And you know what? That team that ran the offense, they're very deliberate. And that's why I think half-court defense is going to be a big factor here in this game.
That was your guy Sermons leading the scoring.
That's him.
Sermons, of course, young Sermons, one of the seniors standing at 5'11" in this one. He has the first bucket for the Lions. Little trouble on the baseline, but saved in. Nice play by McCutcheon. Andre Jackson Jr., another senior guy who's going to be playing some college football at Hampton in his future. Remember, this Corvian squad played for the football state championship in the fall. So for a number of these players, this is a 3rd state championship, combined basketball and football in their careers. Sticking with it, and we get a foul. A couple of shots are going to be coming for Adrian Scott. But handling the bright lights of a state championship environment certainly is storyline. So many of these players from Corvian have done it in multiple sports as you get another look at the content.
And that helps them that helps them today because they've been there before. Both these teams have good point guards. They're very deliberate when they run their offense. It's really, really nice to watch. It's going to be a key is they got to take care of the ball and take good shots.
First one for Scott won't go. He's got a second South College free throw coming. South College, where dreams find direction. And from the South College free throw line, he is unable to build on the contact. It'll stay even at 2 apiece. Good movement. No window out top, so he goes to the elbow, tried to take a jumper that won't go down. First look of the contest for Sermons was good. He tried another here, but it will stay 2 apiece. Jackson Jr., we mentioned it, a couple of guys bearing their dad's names in the starting lineup. In the interior, the other one, R.J. Moore Jr., who you highlighted in the open, battling, but it's stripped away. Quick in transition. Too strong. Up and down the floor they go in the 1A title game. Wide open look from three-point land. Rattles down. R.J. Moore Jr. introduced to the building with this one-care NC 3 ball.
That's what he does. He shoots it well. They got to take care of the ball. They have to. Southern Wake has to take care of that basketball. That was an unforced turnover right there.
R.J. Moore Jr. with our initial one-care NC three-pointer of the contest. If his name sounds familiar, it should. His dad, Ricky Moore, national title winner at UConn. Wow. And he is continuing the family pedigree. How about this move? Laid home by DeMarcus Milton, another of the senior guards.
Yeah, that was bad. That was the defense. They let that guy could drive right to the basket. There's no help.
How about the 3 different scorers already on the Corvian side of things? Moore, McCutcheon, Milton all involved. Take away again. Here's McCutcheon, and it's going to go the other way.
Out of bounds. He went out of bounds.
How about your impressions of this fast start for the Cardinals?
Yeah, the Cardinals, and I don't think Southern Wake is nervous or anything. They have to take care of the ball. They have to understand that they're going to play hard, deep, half-court defense. They're going to have to take care of it.
Go back to your point about the Cardinals having been here before. That is of value. Keep in mind, it was also in this very building where the championships were played a year ago.
Exactly right.
4 and change remaining in the opening period. Needing a valuable possession. Lions. 3 ball coming, and that rims out. How about the putback, though? Flying in there to lay it home. Kobe Plata getting the job done.
Made a couple extra passes to get a better shot. I thought they should have taken a couple of shots before that.
He is a sophomore point guard on this squad, talking about the guy who just scored it. They talk about his savvy, they talk about his wit, and they're going to be talking about him for a long time to come. He's got a lot of eligibility left.
Yeah, both these point guards are very good. They really run the show, and the way they run their offense, they need them.
A little out of control and eventually gathered up by Wilson. Down the left side, and contact as Scott is going to be whistled for the foul. Clock stops with 3:23 left to play in the opening period. That's our break. We'll set up the shots on the other side. Quick start for Corvian and a slim lead early.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by West Shore Home.
Quick start for the crew out of Charlotte. Their mantra this season has been earned. They talk about how everything they have attained, it has been earned. Not many expected them to be here. He said, not a lot of folks from our community gave us a chance to get back here. Now, he's not talking about the internal community. He's talking about Charlotte at large. But, boy, have they wowed the critics, and they find themselves back here for a second straight year with the lead.
Heck of a record. They had a great year, and they got a nice team. They were here last year, and they want one more game. They want one more game, the one that wins it all.
23-7 out of Catawba Shores. And Ron Murphy's squad putting together a memorable run through the tournament, find themselves up 3. There was, as you saw, the foul call heading to break. So that sends a South College free throw opportunity in effect for Brian Epperson. First time we've talked about Epperson. Good size, though, at 6'7" for the senior, Coach.
Yeah, they have good size. Only thing Southern Wake has to do right now, not dribble too much in the half-court game. And they're a little up, a little tight, but they just have to calm down a little bit.
Which can be understood, right?
Oh, yeah.
15,
Easy,
16, 17 years old, and you got a chance to do something people are going to talk about for generations to come.
Well, the Cardinals have a swagger. They've been here. The other ones, they don't have their swagger yet.
Still right in the thick of it, and what is a 2-point game after the main South College free throw. Here's a zip pass. Wide open look from the corner, and it's going to rim off. Try it again from over there. This time it goes down. He knew exactly where he was headed, and R.J. Moore Jr. has a second one-care NC 3-ball.
That's the second offensive rebound score they've had. So they've gotten 4 points off of offensive rebounds.
Doubling up their opponents out of Southern Wake Academy thus far. Corvian's lead grows. Inside, 3 minutes remaining in the opening period. A lot of life in the building. These two teams well represented. The journey from Wake County and the journey from the Charlotte area, well traveled for these fans. Particularly for a Class 1A game, a lot of energy in here. There'll be more on the Cardinals side as that is blocked away by Malachi McCutcheon.
That's a good block. Good block.
Walk us through it here, Coach.
Of these championship.
Absolutely, right where he needed to be was McCutcheon. Window, and he's going to take advantage of that. Brian Epperson drops it home.
They got a nice team. I'll tell you, this could be a really good game. If Southern Wake just takes a couple of more breaths, they'll be all right.
Well, 2 minutes and change. It has certainly been that so far. Trying to dribble around trouble is Milton. Down the lane he goes, and it rims out. Just back of the iron that time.
Well, scoring takes care of all the nerves.
Yeah, nothing like building a little confidence when you see the points go up on the board. Trying that, but deciding to pass it last moment right to Josiah Rux, though. Rux, one of those first off the bench for Corvian, has the takeaway. Talked about the earned mantra. They said, we want folks to know on this day, we're for real. A lot of discussion about this program, this school. What an environment they've created to compete regularly for championships. And a foul as trying to scramble for it was Andre Jackson Jr. And he's whistled at the end of that for the contact. Here it is, Coach.
Cardinals foul charge to 15. Andre
They're lucky
Jackson Jr. First personal, team second.
That was good defense.
Second team foul and just the first personal on Andre Jackson Jr. Closing in on the final minute of the tone-setting period of the 1A title game. How about the feed? The finish is through for Ira Wilson, but that was created up top.
Yeah, that was a set play. It was a good set play with the right person. I think we're going to keep going to him.
A couple of subs, including Adrian Scott, standing by for Corvian. We'll see if they even get in. Final minute of the half. It appears they will. Out of bounds, going to head the other way. 42.4 on the game clock as Scott is joined by Donovan Kirkwood. Those are the two subs for the Cards.
42.4. I tell you what, Southern Wake is not nervous anymore. They got enough points. They just stole the ball. They got it covered.
Yeah, you look up now, Coach, and not just a one-possession game, a one-point game.
Yeah.
It had been one possession for a while. Southern Wake looking for the lead for the first time. There it is. Off the glass, Epperson again. And the Lions are out front in the final half minute of the first period.
shot selection. They're going inside, high percentage shots. Whereas the Cardinals have been shooting threes, low percentage shots.
Moore's going to take another, and he rattles it down. Moore contested with the 3-ball.
That's one of those shots where the coach says no, and he goes in and you go, okay, you can shoot it.
You knew what you were doing.
That was a terrible shot.
One
but it was a great
NC
shot.
3, the third such for Moore. He's made a living with this
shot,
in the
great
first
shot.
period.
Terrible shot, but a great shot.
In the end, outcome has a lot to say about it. And again, our OneCare NC 3-pointer assisting clients' health requirements and treatments at home. Sponsors of all those threes, Mr. Moore Jr.
I second.
There it is.
No. That was a quick 5 seconds. I will say that.
0.9.
Huh? Yeah.
0.9.
Here we go. But 5 seconds out of bounds.
No, I'm saying 0.9 what they have to work with.
Yep.
So heave it, and it's wide, and that will take care of the first period of action. Well, 1 quarter in the books. 1 bucket separating the Cardinals and the Lions in pursuit of a North Carolina state championship.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought.
We welcome you back to Winston with our Oxner and Permar stats from the first quarter. What jumps out of the stat sheet at you, Coach?
Well, I see the 3-point shooting is, the Cardinals are 3 for 5, and Southern Wake's 0 for 1. But I'll tell you, they're taking high percentage shots. Southern Wake's going inside with it.
Those stats brought to you by Oxner and Permar. We make wrongs right. We've also been tracking for you the points in the paint. Points in the paint brought to you by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. You see a little slight advantage there. 1 bucket, the difference between the schools.
Exactly. And you got to realize one of the threes the Cardinals took was the one that bounced around and was a bad shot and went in. So you got to watch out. Shot percentage. They're coming out zone, I think.
Well, we thank our sponsors, Oxner and Permar, as well as Air Experts Heating and Cooling for
in the 1-3-1 zone.
Track of the numbers for us. Second quarter underway. You heard it, 1-3-1, and an outside shot taken that is just a little strong. Stays on this end with the Lions. You felt like the Lions really settled in late in that first quarter.
Oh, yeah, they've settled in now. This is a good move by the Cardinals coach to go zone. Now, I will tell you this. You got to do something.
Big man goes deep in the paint, tried to force a pass, and it rattles around, finally pinballs to the Cards. In transition. Slowed up and reset into the hands of Andre Jackson Jr. Jackson contact. Let's see if they say he was already in the act of shooting. And looks as if he is going to have a couple coming. So free throws coming his direction. Walk us through this, Coach.
Yeah, he kind of faked them out. He went off the screen, then he went hard. It was a nice shot.
He will be awarded a couple of Caring Hands home health free throws. Caring Hands home health, put your needs in our caring hands as he goes to the line.
At the beginning of the game, we put keys to the game are half-court defense of both teams, and this is the reason why. Both teams run a half-court offense, which sometimes teams don't do at all. But they go down the court, and it's half-court. You have to half-court defense is going to play a lot.
Well, how true
a lot the outcome.
From the free throw line. The Caring Hands home health free throws knocked down, and it's 15-11.
When you're played against any defense that has a...
That's from the depths of the three-point line.
It's keeping them from driving to the basket, I'll tell you that.
Here's Henson.
Well, I just did.
Must have heard you.
Just did.
Has a bucket from the interior to cut it to 2. Well, you say this for Corvian. They're using the extent of that half court.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Right in front of right atop the Wake Forest logo initially, and now here's the work inside, and able to go through the window. Second really nice bucket for Malachi McCutcheon in the game.
Hey, that makes some tough shots. That was a tough shot. Now here in this defense, you have to put people in the corner. You have to. You play the offense out of the corner.
How about a true stroke from Plata? There's a sophomore. He knocks down the one-care NC3.
Now, a team that didn't take many threes in the first quarter, they've taken 3 already in the second.
Yeah, R.J. Moore had all those in the first quarter on the Corvian side. This is going to be grabbed out of the sky by Wilson. Such good length. Kept it behind the back to keep it alive and stepping inside the defense, but seeing it rattle away. You know, you could say this, and it's true on both sides. We've noticed it from Corvian. These young men do not mind contested shots.
Oh, no.
Here's a takeaway. Little keep away, and a soft touch from Sermons.
Wow, I wasn't ready for that.
A memorable Sermon that time down the floor as he lays it in.
They lost the ball.
17.
Lions foul charge to Jeremiah Henson. Second person.
This is going to be second on Henson. Picked up. Get the contested nature of things out front. Well, this was the takeaway. How do you like the job he did to keep it under control?
I'm glad he had a left hand, because if he had a right, if he would go back to his right, he's going to get blocked.
Sermon's already with a couple of buckets to his credit. Epperson has 5. Plata has 5 to lead the way.
The trap. Sneaky with their defenses.
Nowhere to drive. Closed up by Epperson. Room this time. Tried for it. And though the elevation was there, the basketball handle was lost. It'll go the other way.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the way they really start doing little different things defensively. They just randomly were trapping people. That was a heck of a move.
Couldn't quite hang on to the basketball, so it stays a 1-point lead for the Lions. Back and forth.
Now they're at
between
2-3.
the first half. And as Coach just told you, back and forth between defensive looks.
So we've got man 1-3-1 to 2-3.
Open look from the corner. Just short. Cleaned up by McCutcheon. Lob inside, and disruption from Sermons, but he got a little more than the basketball.
Oh, that was really nice. Good pass. Really good pass.
One thing on his mind. Tried to connect with Adrian Scott in the interior. You're wondering about it. That's a first personal on Sermons. And a third foul as that is back of the iron on the free throw. You want to stick around. At halftime, we'll have the Talk It Out NC halftime report. Special interview with Hugh Tucker, the commissioner of the association. First half highlights, stats, a whole lot more. Talk It Out North Carolina. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. That's Talk It Out North Carolina sponsors of our halftime report. Handoff to Sermons. Pestering D for the Cards. In the end, the whistle is... Thought it was trying to take it back in there after it was taken away by Corvian.
As soon as kids get pressured in high school, they start to dribble. And when they start to dribble, they're in trouble. That's exactly what just happened. He panicked, he started dribbling. And it got worse.
Now they're going to show you the images here so you can see for yourself exactly what did happen. Inbound coming for the Cards. What about the Cards? What have you noticed about the attack for Corvian thus far?
Well, I'll tell you what. Obviously, we're talking about the point guard, but they're big. They're tall. They're long. And they're patient. They're not taking bad shots.
6'6", 6'5", couple of 6'5s, a 5'11", a 5'10 in the starting unit. This is out of bounds, far side.
Well, Southern Wake that time ran the 2-3 zone.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well in a tie ball game. First half. Nothing like a championship moment to whet the appetite of young fans. You see their bottom center of your screen for perhaps their own moment moving forward. And these communities both well represented as we welcome you back with our Original Grills Fan Cam. Elevate your grill game. That's Original Grills, sponsors of our Fan Cam. Both these 1A schools well represented thus far. Buildings had a lot of life.
Really well. Southern Wake, I'll tell you, Southern's changing up. They've got running 4 defenses already. And they've made them so I really like what's going on.
I know you have some great championship memories and have some great memories in this building as well. The next generation making theirs as we speak at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 1A title game. All right, you got to give me 1 or 2 moments that stand out from your time with Georgia Tech inside Lawrence Joel. Here's a nice touch and roll, and the lead is reclaimed by the Lions. There's got to be 1 or 2 moments that stand out.
This is one place we didn't win it. We didn't win it. I can't even think. We did not win it.
Dave Odom had a lot to do with that.
So Tim Duncan, some of the
Tim Duncan, you can almost see Tim
Randolph
Duncan,
Childress,
Chris Paul, and Rodney Rogers, Randolph.
You're hurting my feelings.
Walking around on this floor. Well, you had your moments, and we'll talk about them throughout the day. How about that bucket for the Lions? They find themselves back out front, and now Corvian looking to answer with 3 and change to go in the first half.
That was an easy bucket. It was a layup.
Rims off. Into the hands of the Lions. Well, that was gathered up very nicely by Broderick Barnes. He's a junior. They talk about Barnes, 15, as the X factor. He's the big guy in the interior. Watch his impact today. Well, he grabs some attention that lets guess who? Sermons fire away from three-point land.
I'll tell you what, Barnes is a nice player. 2-1-2. It's stretched out a little bit. Keep them away from the basket.
So has the lead. All of a sudden, a 5-point advantage for the Lions.
And you know what? They're going to have to take jump shots.
Top of the key won't happen, and that's off into Epperson's grasp. Lions, they were behind early in this one. They have surged ahead, 23-18, just able to keep it on this end of the floor. And a whistle contact against McCutcheon.
That's a perfect example. The point guard picked the ball up too soon. He was way out here at the, college courts are much longer. So what happens is he picked it out way out here, 5 feet after a half court. He throws it to the wing, and he's out there where the official is. And it's a long time. You're trying to run your offense too far out.
First personal on McCutcheon. I got to ask you, as R.J. Moore comes back here, hold everything. This is a transition chance for Corvian. Taken away. Stripped by Wilson. And he'll get it to half court into the hands of Sermons. And now timeout being called for as Southern Wake Academy. Coach Steve and company want to talk it over. Well, it gives us a chance to remind you that coming up, before everything is settled here, we'll have the West Shore Home Play of the Game. West Shore Home, sponsors of today's Play of the Game. And that's not all. The Player of the Game is brought to you by Riddle & Riddle, just like the broadcast. Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers. When justice counts, they'll be the sponsors of our Player of the Game. Both of those selected a little bit later on. You know, we've seen some great players in this one, Coach, and we just saw R.J. Moore come back a moment ago on the Corvian side of things. Got to ask you, we were talking about it, so many of these players with tremendous pedigree, but having a dad that's won a national championship as his father did at UConn, what's the value of that type of experience right down the hall in the next bedroom, perhaps?
Every time he came home when he was younger, it was basketball. It's all basketball. It's all basketball. So even the talk is all basketball.
Been a factor in this one, and certainly across the course of the season as your player to watch. We talked about an X factor in the discussion of Broderick Barnes. Guess what? He's now on the score sheet.
Half-court defense. Half-court defense.
Barnes was really smothered up there. A number of those black jerseys for Corvian giving him some trouble, but he was unfazed. He goes to the line for the and one, and it's a little too strong. It'll be a rebound of the Cardinals. Quickly ahead. Inside 2 minutes opening half. Great control, although this was going to be touched before it left the cylinder, so it'll be going the other way.
That was a good call. You know, Southern, the only time they've taken three.
Let's look at this one more time.
Yeah,
right there on the rim.
But Southern Wake's taking good shots. They came out of the half when they went zone and took 3 jumpers, and they've gotten back to taking the ball inside. And they've stayed in the zone and making the Cardinals shoot jump shots.
75 seconds left in the half. Long three, won't go. And it looked like the effort to snatch it by Wilson, he just couldn't quite grab it. Going to be Corvian basketball. Seems like an important possession for Corvian here. Yeah. 7-point game, just over a minute to go in the half.
Yeah, they're going to have to get the ball, try to get inside. Don't live and die with the jump shot.
Crew out of Charlotte, led early. They trail now, and the calm and collected trip up the floor for Andre Jackson Jr. Inside a minute. First half of the 1A title game.
You have to get the ball, move the ball around.
3 balls there. A little off the mark. And a traveling call will send it the other way with the Lions at 39.7.
You know, it's amazing that, teams work on offenses when it's man-to-man. They have all pick rolls. They have no plays for zone. Most teams don't have plays for zones.
Well, reminder, halftime report right around the corner. We'll have a special interview from the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Highlight stats, all that coming up as part of the Talk It Out NC halftime report. Inside a half minute. Team that has made their mantra one pride.
He's too far out.
All one. Trying to lead it at the half. By how much? Here's a 3. True. Nothing but the twine on the one-care NC three-pointer.
That's a set-up 3. Those are the good threes. When you set your man up.
The lead suddenly double digits. Big to cut it. It will. Just ahead of the horn. A one-care NC 3 of his own from Malachi McCutcheon. What a strong finish to the half.
That was big. They needed a boost. They needed something before they went in halftime, and that was it.
Well, Corvian led early. They shot the lights out late, but it was a second-quarter surge from Southern Wake Academy that has the Lions out front at the intermission.
Attention fans, bad behavior in today's event will not be tolerated.
You're watching the Talk It Out Halftime Report. Talk it out. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking.
Everybody, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the state championship high school basketball games.
The broadcast. You're watching the Talk It Out Halftime Report. Talk it out. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking.
Well, hey there, everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the state championship high school basketball games. Joining us is our long-standing partner all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Melissa Level. Melissa, are you loving these excellent basketball games?
I love it. What a great season it's been, and the best of the best is right here now on television.
Best of the best is right. Now, let's talk about that long-standing and robust partnership between Ingalls and high school championship athletics. What all does that entail?
It's just absolutely wonderful to be able to connect with all the schools within our region. You know, we're in 6 states, and so we have Friday Night Lights with football, we do basketball, we have softball, even some Olympic-style sports, and we go all the way up through college, and then of course some minor leagues. But we just love that high school spirit and the fun with that. A lot of those players work with us. A lot of their parents have a shop at our Ingalls, so it's kind of like a big family coming to watch all of them play, right? So we love that.
We'll love it as well. Melissa, as always, thank you for taking the time to speak with us here today.
Thank you.
All righty. Let's get back to the game, folks.
Here, Commissioner Tucker, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and it's great to be.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by West Shore Home. You're watching the Talk It Out Halftime Report. Talk it out. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking.
Two schools known for their prowess in multiple sports, and it's Southern Wake by a touchdown at the intermission. Time to check in with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Jay had a chance to sit down with Commissioner Hugh Tucker.
Good to have you here, Commissioner Tucker, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and it's great to be here with you.
What are the biggest challenges facing high school sports today, and how is the NCHSAA addressing them?
This is education-based athletics, and we're trying to teach civility. We're trying to teach respect for one another, and that comes with playing in our programs. And so that continues to be something we address by pointing out instances of ejections to our membership. We try to reward good behavior by giving ejection-free certificates each year for what they've done the previous year. We have our student athlete advisory council, which is made up of students representing each of our regions across the state. And what we try to do with the people is put them in a position where they learn leadership skills, and then they can get in front of their peers. They can be responsible for helping conduct conferences and summits with the idea that we're helping them understand you can be a good student, but you can also be a student athlete. And that's been working very, very well. It's not a new initiative, but I think what we've done is try to expand and grow the program.
What makes the basketball championship such a special event for schools, students, and communities?
So many of these young people who play on in these programs, and particularly basketball, football and basketball are obviously our most popular sports, but these young people are seen in church, they're seen in the grocery store, they're seen around towns, especially in your smaller communities. And so when you get to the ending of a season and their team is still standing, it rallies that community. It creates a buzz that you feel when you go into some of those smaller communities, and even in our larger communities, even though they are much more spread out. It's just an exciting time, and just to be able to go into the venues now that we are afforded to play in.
And Commissioner Tucker, I know you're a former basketball coach. What advice would you give to the coaches and the players competing in the championships?
Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't worry about fans trying to get into the game, how fans buy the tickets. Coaches don't need to worry about that stuff. That's what their athletic director is for, principal. All of them will take care of that. And then the final advice that I would give them is savor the moment.
We appreciate your time, Commissioner Tucker, and thank you for everything you do for high school athletics.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate this opportunity to talk about high school athletics in North Carolina.
You're watching the Talk It Out Halftime Report. Talk it out. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking.
Will 7 be lucky for the Southern Wake Academy Lions? That's the advantage they hold at the intermission. We mentioned it, two teams great in athletics across all sports. Touchdowns separating them in many ways, which speaks to how Southern Wake performed down the stretch in that first half of action. Well, we do welcome you back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, site for the next 2 days of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Championships, brought to you by Riddle & Riddle. Let's look back at the first half of action, and Coach R.J. Moore Jr. leads all scorers with 9. He got there with 3 trays.
And he's a three-point shooter, and that's the kind of shot he should be taking. One with nobody on him, and he steps back, or he takes one with somebody on him, makes you rise and shoot it better. This one here, little question, but he took it, he made it. But it was a question mark.
Young Sermons has done a little bit of everything for the Lions to keep them out front.
Exactly. He hits a 3. He took a quick 3. Here he goes again. Now, this is that great left hand that he had. Thank God he had it. And watch this. Nice little 3. Set up 3. Perfect.
Ends up with here NC three-pointer of his own. Let's go ahead and look at the Oxner and Permar stats from that first half. What did you notice on the stat sheet with one half in the books?
Well, it's a half-court offense. The Cardinals they turned it over 3 times on the against the zone. So they have to, how they're going to attack the zone, because that's what, they're going to come out in the zone. How are they going to attack the zone is going to be a kick.
Oxner and Permar, we make wrongs right. Showing you the stats for the first half of action. We're tracking them in the paint as well, thanks to our friends at Air Experts Heating and Cooling. Beginning to be a little separation there, Coach.
That's huge, and I see it. They're taking better shots, inside shots. They're taking their time. There's no shot clock here, so there's no rush, and some of the shots were rushed, but that's the big difference right there.
When you return to our 2025 North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Championship broadcast presented by Riddle and Riddle Injury Lawyers, we'll have third quarter action waiting on you from Winston.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by West Shore Home.
Teams back out on the floor, getting set for the second half of the Class A boys chip game of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Our broadcast presented by Riddle and Riddle. Coach, let's quickly talk third quarter adjustments. What do you expect on both sides?
Well, I think that Southern's going to come out in zone, because that's what they ran for the last 3-4 minutes, and then slowing the Cardinals down. They're going to come out in the zone, but let's see what's going to happen here.
Corvian with the basketball to begin things, down 7 at the half.
They're going back to man.
In the paint, a little short of the iron. Cleared out of there by Epperson. Epperson quietly scored 8 and led all scorers on the Lions side of things, interestingly enough. He had 8. Sermons, who we showed you at the half, had 7. And then a host of other players involved. That is out of bounds on the baseline.
I think that might not have been a foul, but I think he's fouling him, stopping him for penetration. Here we go. See, I think that wasn't a foul, but he was fouling him outside. He was stopping for penetration.
Second personal, first team foul.
Inbound coming. First team foul is whistled there. Not just the ball out of bounds, but the contact noticed. As coach was walking it through it. 7:27 ticking downward, freshly underway in the third quarter. First of a full weekend of state championship contests today and tomorrow here in Winston-Salem. Inside to Wilson. Sermons, Wilson for 3, and he's good from out there also. There is a one-care NC three-pointer for Ira Wilson.
That was a great shot. That started out where they had him inside. He popped back outside, took a 3.
Wilson has 7. The lead is back to 10. And disrupted by Epperson, stays with the Cards. Blocking foul is trying to work his way into the interior. McCutcheon draws contact. This is going to be against
number 5, Kobe Plata.
Kobe Plata, and you'll see the contact here.
Foul of the quarter for the Lions.
Plata, you saw initially trying to maybe get out of the way there, but enough of a bump that he drew the whistle.
Cardinals are getting frustrated a little.
That'll help.
McCutcheon
McCutcheon drains one, fading away.
It was a good shot. It's inside the paint shot. That's what they need to start doing. Because if they start shooting threes, they might get blown out right away.
Cuts it to 8. Well, you know, talking to a number of folks before this contest, many thought the pressure that the Cardinals provide could be one of the major difference makers. The script is flipped right now. It's been Southern Wake settling in, Coach.
Patience. They're patient offensively. They really are.
Ira Wilson gives this up to Plata, and he'll feed him back. Wilson, a little too much.
It's a good play.
He is, and he can certainly control the interior in this game.
We're going to see more of that because I think the coach will see that. He's going to keep getting that ball inside.
Why wouldn't you utilize his
Exactly.
6'7" frame? Boy, what force. As McCutcheon has another basket.
That was an easy basket. They went and trapped the ball. The trap didn't work, and they got the ball out of the trap very fast.
McCutcheon now suddenly with 11 is the leading scorer, eclipsing Moore's 9 at this point. One-on-one, little stop, just inside three-point line. That's going to be a 2.
Two-pointer.
That's going to be a 2, as I said, just inside the three-point line. And credit our officials, they were all over it.
Yeah, it was a 2-pointer.
2-point basket, 2 points.
Here's a look. You see the foot on the line.
It wasn't even close. No, it wasn't even close.
Here's the inbound into the hands of Kobe Plata. Gets the 2 and cuts it to 31-27. Boy, this lead went from double digits to a couple of baskets real quick. Here's Sermons. Can't answer. Cleaned up by McCutcheon. Not for long.
Another
Still
turnover.
wins. And that's going to be a push. Andre Jackson Jr. was trying to sell the traveling call, but the officials were not buying.
Yeah, he's frustrated from. He's trying to say he made a 3. And it was 2. It was definitely 2.
Jackson, by the way, there picking up his 3rd personal, so he has to be careful. A lot of basketball left.
That's huge.
Speaking of 3, here's a 3 ball that will help ease the pain a bit, and that is one care NC three-pointer to stretch it back out. Mid-third, 34-27, the separation in the pursuit of a Class A crown. Stay tuned. Prior to the conclusion of our broadcast, we'll have the West Shore Home Play of the Game. West Shore Home, sponsors of our Play of the Game. And also, this afternoon's Player of the Game, brought to you by Riddle and Riddle Injury Lawyers. Riddle and Riddle, when justice counts, sponsors of our Player of the Game. Well, it was a loss in the 4th round last year to Wilson Prep, who would eventually become champions of the state. Serving as the fuel, serving as the fire underneath this team, propelling them to a lead in the 3rd quarter here in the state championship round.
What I like about Southern right now, they're running their offenses and they're scoring out of their offenses, so they feel good about it. They feel good about what they're doing offensively. And look for them to change up defensively as this thing goes a little deeper.
Corvian, how about a stop, a little separation, but it's front of the iron. Wilson with all his size clears it out. Ira Wilson, 6'7". He's going to be a D1 potential player because of his body. They say for sure he expects to play basketball in the D2 ranks, Coach. He's a special-looking player.
He is, and he'll probably go D2 or, college is not recruiting high school players too much anymore.
Not that much when the portal is standing wide open.
It's not. It's terrible.
He'd like to work his way up to that if he has a tremendous D2 career. And he, Sermons, Epperson, really the trio that have the potential to play college basketball.
Very patient offensively. It was a good shot.
Got to rim off. Here come the Cards. Looking ahead. Needing a little help. R.J. Moore Jr. provides it. We told you about his dad.
The big guy's playing hard defense.
Reaching the top of the hill in Division I basketball. He gives it off to Jackson Jr. Inside, it's going to be flushed home by Malachi McCutcheon. What a state championship game McCutcheon is having.
I said that was a great pass.
13 points for McCutcheon to lead everybody, and he now has a dunk to go along with the rest of his impressive moments. Cuts it to 5. Not that long ago, it was double figures. And a traveling call. A little bit of contact there, but an extra step taken by Jeremiah Henson. It'll be Corvian basketball. Let's look at that dunk one more time, Coach.
Here's the pass. Defense got beat, and he turned his back. Great dunk. Great cut.
Andre Jackson Jr. creates. Malachi McCutcheon finishes. Contact up top is enough. It's going to be on Wilson. That's a first whistle on Wilson, so no reason for panic here, though that's way a wicket and on that NCHSAA logo.
But they're trying to wear him out. They're going to wear him out. They're going to put somebody on him, and that's what they're doing. It doesn't look like you should play him out there, but look who's playing. It's more.
Baseline, turnaround, and a little short. Cleaned out by Epperson.
Those are the shots that are going to get you beat. Possession is really important. It's like a turnover.
It's worth revisiting what you talked about early in this contest, too, that a high school player has to make an adjustment of just how many dribbles it takes to cover the baseline on this floor.
Yes, they do.
Retreating is Sermons. And now Plata. Covered up. Down the lane with force. And Wilson is going to be the beneficiary of the whistle.
Now, this is a typical example. He got the ball so far out. When he drove to the basket, there was 3 guys there. Because there's, you're giving, take 2 more triples, there could be more defenders there.
Plenty of time to collapse. He'll go to the line for the Caring Hands Home Healthcare free throw. Put your needs in our Caring Hands. Caring Hands sponsors of our free throw attempts here in the 3rd quarter.
He could be a big factor, Wilson, down the stretch, because he's getting the ball almost every time down.
Big is the appropriate word. He's 6'7" in his senior campaign. The Lions star has 1 more of those Caring Hands Home Health free throws coming. And he connects on it.
They're very patient offensively. Very patient.
Andre Jackson Jr. hits the accelerator. Wide open look from the corner. True. DeMarcus Milton, the senior shooting guard. He's headed to Erskine, where he hopes to hit a few more like the One Care NC3 you just saw. And cadets to play basketball. Got to specify with these Cardinals. Some of them are going to college to play football. Some of them are going to college to play basketball. Down the left side, and how about the effort here to find the window and lay it home?
Great shot. That's a great. What focus he had? Concentration on that shot. Watch his concentration when he goes to shoot.
He'll be going
right in there with it.
He'll be going somewhere sometime, Coach. But the best news of all for Lions fans, the guy headed to the Caring Hands Home Health free throw line is just a sophomore. He's handling the point in his sophomore campaign.
And he's getting beat up, and he's not turning it over.
To the bucket. And contact out top. They are keeping the official busy near midcourt.
Now, the Cardinals have scored 3 times because the guards on Southern have gotten beat. They need to keep these guards in front of them and don't get beat to set up those shooters, you know? So 3 times the guards have gotten beat way out here.
Third personal
they
there.
cracked.
You're right. Third personal there. Third team foul and a Caring Hands Home Health free throw for Andre Jackson Jr. And he's back of the iron on this one. Andre Jackson Jr. has 4 points. And he is now 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Here comes the X Factor again. We talked about him earlier. And Broderick Barnes returns. Milton is taken out. And Josiah Rux, a senior guard, is coming in for Corvian. Those are the 2 substitutions. Second Caring Hands Home Health free throw. True. Lead shrinks to 5. Minute 37 to go in the third. By the sophomore. Talk about his wit. Talk about his savvy. Group making its first trip to the title round. Embracing it so far. Here's a break for the Cards. Capitalize. Beautifully slowed down and laid home by Jackson Jr. He's coming to life.
Yeah, he is. They gave him life. Good shot, missed it. Didn't get back. Here we go again.
Down to 1 possession. From the corner. Off the mark. Still loose. And now slowed up in the hands of Bladen. Inside a minute in the third. Just before he fell down to Sermons. And that's going to be offensive. Player control is going to be whistled against Barnes.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good call. Here it is. He was determined to go through him. He got it. He was determined. It was his time to shine.
Well, you're not going to get away with much when you take up as much space, and that's a compliment. He does such a nice job in the interior, does Barnes. This time around, the big guy whistled for the infraction. 3. True. R.J. Moore Jr., another of his patented one-care NC threes when they need it most. And it is a brand new contest in Class A with a half minute to go in the third.
Watch him talking. He's talking some stuff here. Watch, but they didn't show it. Foul, be a technical. Look at this. That'd be a technical foul.
Said it, able to work his way through it there, knocks it down. And how about we step back for a moment and talk about this run for the Cardinals? Not long ago, in this very period, this group was down double figures. Now they're on even footing.
You know, they've been here before. You can tell they're fighters. The kid, the point guard's a football player. This guy's a fighter. They're going to be in this right to the end.
Yeah, the point guard going to Hampton to play football. You got a Catawba commit in Malachi McCutcheon we've talked about. Adrian Scott's going to play college football at Austin Peay. On down the line it goes. I mean, these are guys, they don't shy away from the contact and they don't shy away from the high-profile moment because they played for a state championship in basketball now twice, in football in the fall. They embrace the moment.
You're exactly right. Yeah, here we go. It's even. The game's even. We're really going in the fourth quarter even.
Yeah, now you got about 8.5 minutes to settle a state championship.
Shot selection and taking care of the basketball. What team's not going to do it? Or what team's going to do it?
You saw Moore's vitals there. He has 12. McCutcheon leads everybody with 13. And Plata on the Lions side of things has 11. Those are the 3 players when you combine both sides that are in double figures late third. Final half minute of the third quarter with control up for grabs heading into the final period of the Class A boys season. Opportunity to hold on to it for the last one here. When's it go time?
I have no idea.
We'll see. Little stop. Little pop. Drain for Epperson. Enough ahead of the horn, and it is a lead for the Lions of Southern Wake Academy. They make the final possession of the third quarter count, and Coach Q and company with a slim advantage as we head toward the fourth and final period of the Class A season in 2025. Your Oxner and Permar stats through 3. We make wrongs right.
The stats are just speaking of what I said before the game. These teams are similar, very similar, and that's exactly what you see. They're identical.
And the Air Experts heating and cooling check of the points in the paint, a little more even than the last time.
Cardinals are back. The Cardinals are back, putting them back inside. So here we go.
Also back on the scoreboard. They pulled even at 38 apiece. Final bucket of the third quarter belonged to the Lions. And they have it to begin the fourth with a slim 1-bucket advantage. Well, based upon what we've seen through 3 periods, Coach, I got to ask you what you expect to see on both sides in the fourth.
Well, I know this team's going to run their offense. They're going to spend a lot of time. I would love to see Wilson get the ball there and go one-on-one, try to create a foul or something, but I don't feel he feels comfortable doing that. That's a tough shot.
From the Cardinals, lost the handle. Right into the hands of Epperson.
Turnover. Big fourth quarter state championship game. You can't turn that over. You cannot turn that over.
Turnovers have been fairly even. 9-8 was the split at last check. So that's something both teams, roughly where you want to be from a state championship game standpoint with early jitters and whatnot. Here's a 3. That's where you want to be if you're Epperson. He now has 13 to lead everybody on his side of the floor, and that 3 huge. Here's another. R.J. Moore connecting on most of those today. This is taken back home by Milton, and it too is a little short.
That Moore has got to understand that if he doesn't make those, it's the way they're going to lose. So he's got to.
Huge one-care NC three-pointer on the other
There's no
side.
shot clock. Yes, you can take your time. Try to get a better shot.
Well, there's a coach talking. He said, wait a minute, plenty of basketball left. The urgency there for these two teams. Turnaround, short for Wilson. And a putback. Free throws coming as the contact was drawn by the sophomore guard, Kobe Plata.
So the two possessions.
The Cardinals foul charged to 0. Adrian Scott, that's his fourth.
Going to be a fourth personal picked up by Adrian Scott, so he's going to be playing with 4.
That's a point guard in there getting an offensive rebound. Now, there was nobody back, but, you know, the Cardinals have had the ball twice. They turned it over once, and then they took a quick three-pointer. They can't be doing that. They cannot be doing that, or they're going to find themselves down by a few buckets here at the end.
First of the South College free throws goes. South College, where dreams find direction. Whose dream is going to find direction to a championship in this fourth quarter. That's one step closer.
Got to get a good shot.
For Southern Wake as he hits the South College free throw. Here you are focused on a possession for Corvian. There it is. Is this a blocking foul? Absolutely. And it'll mean an and one chance coming. You wanted a key possession for Corvian. Here it is.
Yeah, and he took it to the basket. I've never seen him do that. Look what he did. Created fouls. That's a good call.
First team foul in the quarter.
It's just the second personal on Barnes.
A lot more happens when you go to the basket instead of shooting a three-point shot.
You got that right. South College free throw goes down. And it is 45-40 with a title on the line.
Full court pressure.
Pressure from the Cards. Broken. It's Wilson. Wilson now. Tried to go inside to Epperson. A little too much juice on it. It'll be Cards ball.
Yeah, he knows he made a mistake. Bad pass. He blamed himself right away.
Corvian Cardinals have earned it. Earned has been the mantra this season. To prove they're real in a moment like this. With 5.5 to play, down 4. Basketball in hand. McCutcheon hands it off. Moore Jr. Too strong. Offensive board won't go for Scott. But try as they may, and try after try it is, before McCutcheon lays it home. One basket between them. Zip pass, 3 ball, off the mark. Epperson fights through traffic and wills it down. Epperson again, who has 15 and puts his team up by 4.
Zone. They went to zone, and this is it.
Lead is 4.
This is what got them the big lead the first half.
Epperson was slicing through, but he's a little short on the delivery. Just throwing it up. Nearly went down. That was touched by Wilson, and he will not be able to chase it before it is going to eventually stay on this end of the floor.
The old football player put his head down and he went to the basket hard. He didn't pay attention. He was the only Cardinal down the court.
There's some value for playing for a state championship in football before you're ready yourself for the basketball moment.
This is important. This 2-3 zone. The zone in the beginning, in the first half, gave him a big lead. Great move here. I knew they were going to go to it. When they were going to go to it, I didn't know.
Yeah, timing is
when
everything.
It was, but he's going to let him jack it up a little bit.
A little bit of room on the inside. McCutcheon couldn't deliver. Just enough real estate for Adrian Scott, the senior forward. Remember, Scott's playing with 4, and he has a key bucket here to pull within 2. Plata.
Wow.
Soft touch.
Got beat on defense. No help.
Plata with 15. He and Epperson leading the way with 15 apiece. They have 30.
Good move. They moved the zone out to stop that pass inside. They moved it outside.
I'm going to say, Coach, they have 30 of the 49 on the board for Southern Wake. Here's Corvian. Room inside. Contested. And Epperson takes it away.
I tell you, moving the defense out that time was a great move. It's because they're passing that ball in the low post, and that stops it by moving it out.
The chess match is in full effect.
It's unbelievable. This coach, He's made adjustments, and they're good adjustments. His back screen.
Coach Q and company up 4 with the ball. You hear the high praise from Kevin Cantwell, long time impactor in the ACC as well as here in North Carolina. That stayed with Bladen and company. Now it's Milton's. Slowing it up is Andre Jackson Jr.
A little too much dribble there.
Somehow regathered and would not be denied. R.J. Moore Jr., even when he doesn't look to be in control, he finds a way.
I tell you, he's a big-time shooter.
Time out on the floor, balance of the state championship environment in Class A. Coming up for you from Winston in just a moment. Snap a photo. It's a lifetime moment for both teams. Going to be a championship moment for one or the other. As we bring you back with the Original Grills fan cam. Original Grills, elevate your grill game. These fans on the edge of their seats with 2:25 left to play in the Class A title game for the separation. As you get a look at some of those, taking it all in on the Original Grills fan cam. All right, Coach, 2:25 to play. And I say separation for 49-47. The adjustment made on the board there. Wake with the lead of 2 and the basketball.
They have to take care of the basketball, both teams. Take care of the basketball and shot selection in the last 2.5 minutes here.
Little disruption. Cardinals appear to have the takeaway. They do, because timeout granted to the Cards bench. Heads up timeout taken by Coach Murphy and company.
Yeah, the point guard dribbled right to where you don't want to dribble over half court, and you got trapped. And then it was an accident ready to happen.
Now here's one more look at it.
Here it is.
See the takeaway. Immediately that bench
It's
is
an
calling
accident
for the
ready to
timeout.
happen. Just come over half court. You should not dribble over half court unless you know what you're going to do with it.
Let's give credit to the staff. You were praising the coaches a moment ago. You see this huddle. He's got Jeff Brentley, Justin Antonio, and Nate Springs, and they said they also got to give a shout out to Heather Moore. Now that's the mom of R.J. Moore. They said she's team mom, trainer, and everything else, but he's praised the staff around him as the reason his team has made 2 consecutive runs to the state championship environment. Unable to get the job done last year in the final analysis, though it was a championship moment. Trying to close the deal here, down 2 with 2:12 to play.
Very composed person. He is. Coach Murphy is very composed.
Earned is the mantra for the Cardinals of Corvian. And finally a whistle against Wilson.
What do they do?
So the right foul, charge to number 4.
That's going to be
Wilson.
Let's check that, second personal on Wilson.
Not sure why he did that.
Inbound coming. Still 2 and change to go. One of these 2 teams
needs to back off from here. He doesn't want to get beat. He does not want to get beat. He does not want to get beat.
Just a reminder, one of these 2 teams going to claim the school's first ever championship in less than 2 minutes.
The key is not getting beat. There we go. He got beat.
Stop and pop. Andre Jackson Jr.
He got beat at point guard, and it's 5 against 4. And he got
1 minute, 35 seconds to settle the championship. No separation between them.
I guess that these teams being similar, they are similar.
scoreboard proves it. Down the baseline. And a whistle with 1:22 to play. How about this? Let's step back just a moment and take a big picture look at this. As you see, the foul's going to go against Andre Jackson Jr.
That's his fourth.
That's a fourth on Jackson Jr. Tuck that away in the back of your mind. But before they inbound, 1:22 to play. One of these schools about to win a first ever championship for their communities. And that's off of a defender and grabbing it back. It's going to be a tie-up. Alternating possession arrow is with the Cardinals. It'll be Corvian basketball.
You know what's amazing? This is not going to come down to the foul line because they only have 2 fouls. Both teams have 2 fouls.
Exactly. Plata tried to bounce it off a defender there, gather it up himself and take it to the hoop, but it didn't quite work.
It didn't bounce back to him. It bounced off. It went to the. He was hoping it would come right back to him, but it bounced sideways and up forward.
So here's the possession for Corvian. Walk us through this coming possession for the Cardinals.
Well, they can foul because, they're not in foul trouble at all. Neither team is in foul trouble. So
not going to hurt you.
If they play hard, just play hard, You don't want to foul when they're shooting, though.
A minute plus to play for the title. Coast to coast he goes and rolls it off the fingertips. R.J. Moore Jr. claims Corvian the lead.
That's
other end and contact, plenty of it. And a trip coming for Plata. I believe they're going to say he was in the act of attacking the basket. He will go to the line for big-time free throws. Here's that coast-to-coast.
Coast-to-coast. Unbelievable. He went. You know what it is? You can't get beat out there. He should have contained it. Play him hard, but contain it, not get beat.
South College free throws, none have been bigger, and the first rolls home. South College, where dreams find direction, sponsors of these key free throws for Plata.
That's a sophomore. That's a sophomore making those.
And he made them both.
That's unbelievable.
Ice in his veins, as they say, with 1:01 to play to even it up at 51 apiece. Boy, a gutsy trip down the floor for R.J. Moore, and a sophomore with a memory to tuck away because he was unfazed at the charity stripe. We're right back where we were with nothing settled, only 61 seconds to play.
Exactly right. It's it's right now. I don't know if Southern's going to do this. Come out and play a zone. Come out and play a zone. But don't get beat on it. Because the last possessions, they've gone to the basket, and they're getting beat on the basket.
Take us inside the huddle for Corvian. What's the nature of the discussion ahead of their possession of the ball?
I would hope to say take the ball to the basket, get a chance, don't pull up and take a quick three. There's no shot clock. So you take
go. Take us inside this huddle.
Yeah, and then this huddle, I would say come down there. I don't know. I would play zone. Personally, I'd play zone because they struggle against it. And plus, against the zone, you're not going to get in there. But they're going to play hard, but they can't get beat on defense. And when I say beat, on the perimeter, you can't get beat on perimeter because it's 5 against 4 after that.
Fans have certainly received what they came for here at Wake Forest University. The 2025 North Carolina High School Athletic Association Class A Boys Championship game as advertised. And we appreciate you joining us for our broadcast presented by Riddle & Riddle. 51 all, 1:01 to play. Cards so close last year with the basketball, trying to close the deal this time around. Inside a minute to go.
They're not in the zone, that's for sure. Don't get beat on the perimeter. See, here we go.
Or Jr. takes it himself. He gets the bucket, and one coming to try to maximize the lead with 47 to play.
He's a sophomore. Look at this drive to the basket. That's a great move. A great move.
Looking like the family generational baton has been passed. We talked about his dad, Ricky, a national champion at UConn, and he's trying to become a state champion in North Carolina. Free throw rattles out. The lead just 2. An eternity left, no reason to panic.
Take care of the basketball.
One bucket between them. Down the lane it goes. Well executed by the sophomore, Kobe Plata. They talk about his wit. They talk about his savvy. Every bit of it on display to tie the game.
I can't believe he scored. I mean, the way he went in there, let's look at this. I mean, he went in there with the Giants.
Some young men want the basketball in their hands when the game is on the line.
Exactly. That's a tough shot.
Kobe Plata.
You know, when Moore took that fast break, he went coast to coast. When he gets a left hand, he'd be really good. Because he had to put it back to his right, but he's going to be really good.
Talking about next steps. Let's look at some of the individuals today. 19 of them for Plata now, 15 for Epperson. Those two leading the way in that huddle. You got a glance at the Cardinals a moment ago. You referenced 21-point performance in this one, joined by McCutcheon's 15. Jackson is right on the verge. Andre Jackson Jr. with 9. So many tremendous players that have made their mark on this championship game. One question remains, who's going to be the hero with 26.7 to play? All right, Coach, 26.7 after you've been working for it, not just for a season, but for a lifetime, and it all comes down to this.
You're exactly right. Now, they have to. Southern has to come out and play off the ball. They have to play soft. They can't get beat, because if they're going to get beat, someone's going to foul and the guy's going to score. They got to, if they're going to lose, let somebody hit a jump shot. You know, they can't let them have an easy shot.
It has been R.J. Moore the last several possessions. The ball into Andre Jackson Jr.
Needs to back up. Just back up. Don't get beat. Oh, they're trapping him. Uh-oh. There's somebody open. Uh-oh.
10 seconds to play. Attacking. No whistle. Clock down to 5. Lions now with a chance to win it. Southern Wake from near half court. It is short. And with as enjoyable as this has been, let's do it a little longer.
Let me tell you something. That's Southern coach over there. You realize what he did? He trapped. Full court trap. He trapped. He left guys open. Amazing. He did that, and he panicked because, you know.
The extent of the contest and nothing settled. Here was that final possession for Corvian.
No, that's not a foul. He didn't foul him. He did not foul him. He was straight up, verticality, and his body didn't hit him.
You love the defensive approach. Then obviously on the other end, trying one from the top of the Wake logo. And Coach, with as entertaining as this has been, fans aren't going to be too disappointed to find they're going to see a little more basketball.
Yeah, it could be a little more. It's just a little more.
All right, I'll ask you again to take us inside the huddle for these two teams. You mentioned nerves early in the contest. Boy, they really have to be mounting to some degree now when you consider the value of every single possession.
The problem with that statement, 2 sophomores have taken over.
Hasn't seemed to bother them, has it?
You know what? That means they're naive to the experience.
Well, you got a sophomore in R.J. Moore Jr. who's anything but because of his pedigree. And you've got a sophomore in Kobe Plata who, because of the wit and savvy, the 2 words they've used about him over and over again, is playing beyond his years as well. But each possession becomes critical for teams that are trying to win a state title. What makes this all the more amazing, neither of these communities have ever tasted championship victory.
Right.
Not in the sport of basketball. Corvian was here a year ago, came up just short. They're trying to take a first title back to Charlotte. For Southern Wake, the Southern Wake Academy Lions are here for the very first time, and they put 4 fresh minutes up on the game clock to determine which of these two teams will reign supreme in Class A in 2025. Here's our tip for the overtime period in Winston-Salem. Happy to have you with us at Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum on the campus of Wake Forest University for our broadcast presented by Riddle & Riddle as the Cardinals of Corvian go to work. Little feed inside. McCutcheon stayed with it, and the possession is preserved. All the history on this floor in the ACC. On a weekend, they're playing at a high level in this state. And more history about to be made in the high school ranks as we speak. Andre Jackson Jr. biding his time.
That's a good move. The big guy's backing off of him. Don't get beat. Back off of him.
Now it's go time. Jackson Jr. Rebounded by Wilson.
Good shot.
Chance to take control for Southern Wake now. Lions slowly up the floor from Kobe Plata.
I like for them to go inside, give the ball to Wilson in whatever set they have, and let him try to score inside. And he's there. Give it to him. Give it to him.
On your cue, here's Ira Wilson. Back in his defender down. He'll kick it out to Sermons. Sermons will attack. Waited for a window, and he has the bucket.
Well, he knows how to put the ball in the basket.
Sermons.
That wasn't easy.
9.
Back off. Back.
And all kind of activity as it eventually will result in a whistle.
You know, getting beat out here. He got beat out here about 30 feet from the basket. That's what you can't do, because then you have to ask for help.
Fourth personal picked up there
R.J. Moore Jr. at the line.
on Henson. And the free throw rolls everywhere and eventually down for the sophomore sensation R.J. Moore Jr. 2 sophomores, as Coach told you, taking this game over at times. And he's just as true as his counterpart from the charity stripe. 55 apiece with 2:28 to go. Well, you hate to see this one end.
No, I tell you, it's great. Great.
What an entertaining basketball game for the title. And what a bar set very high for the remainder of this championship weekend.
It's going to be tough for the team that loses.
First timer at Wake. And a memory to go with it. Plata to the corner. Stepping inside of it all. A little too much elevation for Henson this time. And somehow keeping those pink shoes off the baseline is more. 1:45 to go. Game still tied. Knotted up. 110 points on the board. Split right down the middle. R.J. Moore Jr. to work again. Those long strides, and it rims out. Epperson, who's done such good work all day long, 7 rebounds alongside his 15 points, none bigger than that one.
That was a tough shot to take. I mean, I think they could have waited for a better shot.
1:09 to play. Reach it in there, and a traveling call will turn it over to Corvian. Well, you wondered, was it going to be the foul? Was it going to be the tie-up? Was it going to be the travel? It's the latter.
He got pushed. He got pushed right there. Yeah, he got pushed to walk. He got pushed into the wall.
Timeout being taken. Just a little reset for you with 1:06 to play. Possession arrow is with Southern Wake. The basketball belongs to Corvian. What are you saying to your teammates? What are you saying to your troops if you're in that Cardinals huddle?
First of all, they're not in foul trouble, guys. They commit fouls outside on the perimeter. But they got to watch. They got to take the ball. Don't live and die with a three-pointer right now. Let's look to see what we can take. Spend the whole time. Spend the whole minute with the ball. Whatever you have to do.
Talked about the bar being set incredibly high. Guess what? Cherokee's girls standing by and waiting. They'll be playing for a nation here in just a bit in the Class A Girls Championship game. And, boy, lets it sink in a little longer perhaps for their fans and their players just what a special moment this is when they consider how well, and let's say that, Coach, how well these two teams have represented their communities and how well they have competed from start to what is about to be finished today.
Exactly. That's why it's going to be tough for the team that loses, because either way, they're both deserving it.
Mentioned it up over 100 points, evenly sliced, 55 all. 66 seconds remain.
I don't know if they can hold the ball for a minute. That's the problem. They'll probably turn it over. But
Andre Jackson Jr. across the timeline.
Does not want to get beat.
Inside a minute to play. First time champion set to be crowned. Who will it be?
They are holding the ball.
Our Lions. Corvian or Southern Wake?
Hold the ball and call timeout.
Southern Wake, obviously eastern part of the state, but their name on the floor, that's from whence this university moved. They came to Winston-Salem decades ago. Crew out of Charlotte.
They're holding the ball to the
with the basketball, and we said it, holding for the final look, and timeout going to be taken. Well, they used nearly a full minute right there, Coach, and somehow held on to possession. Now it's going to be set up for Coach Murphy and company with 14 seconds. They'll draw it up for a potential championship.
And whatever they draw up, make sure you go to the boards. Defensive rebounding right now. Offensive rebounding could win the game. Very good offensive rebounding team, the Cardinals. So the shot's going to be the shot, whatever they set up here. But make sure you go to the boards and only give them one shot. You want to give them two.
3 players, Andre Jackson Jr., Doug Quarles III, who we should mention has been a big part of this run and will play college football at Elon, as well as Christian Evans II. Adrian Scott in that mix. For Corvian